guys, if you're on InvestorLift, this is definitely going to be a tutorial you're not going to want to skip over. This tutorial is going to teach you how to install Google Analytics. Google Analytics is one of Google's free tools that we can plug into any website to learn exactly how our users are behaving on that website. We can see how many people are visiting, where they're visiting from, how long they're spending on the page. We can measure any interactions with that page. We can track it all inside of Google Analytics and do it for completely free. So the next 5 minutes, what I'm going to do is show you exactly how to get that installed and rocking and rolling on your page. Now, before doing this, the 2 prerequisites are going to be number 1, to of course have your InvestorLift account, and number 2, have a Google Analytics account. And we're going to be using Google Tag Manager to plug the 2 together. If you haven't installed Google Tag Manager yet on your page, go back to a previous video where we show exactly how to create a Google Tag Manager account and get it installed on your page. Okay, so we're going to jump in, and the first thing we're going to do is so we'll go to Google Analytics. That's analytics.google.com. Come in, and I'm going to create a new property here. And Google has Analytics actually has a new version. It's called Google Analytics 4. It's a brand new version. We're going to call this House Buyer USA. Select your time zone. Whatever time zone you set here is going to be the time zone that all of your leads come through on. And then what we're going to do is select a category. Sorry. We're going to go real estate, small business. This is just going to opt you into a bunch of emails. Just skip over that. Get enough spam. Select web. And then we're going to put in your URL, and then you're going to call this something. We'll just call this House Buyer USA. Click Create Stream. Then what we're going to do is, what we want to grab is this measurement ID. Okay, I'll grab that. We're going to take this over to Google Tag Manager, and we're going to pop into variables here. And I like to put anything that I could potentially use multiple times in the future into Google Tag Manager as a variable. We haven't talked about variables yet, but this is where we basically store data that we want to recycle or pass into other tags or triggers. You can use this for a lot of things, like, for example, if you're doing an e-commerce site and people are checking out and they're making a purchase, you could pass the purchase price down into a variable, store it, pass it into other systems. You do a lot of cool stuff with variables. But today what we're going to do is we're just going to put Google Analytics measurement ID. I like to just pop it in at the end here. And then what we're going to do is don't be tempted to use this one. This is for the older version of Google Analytics. It will not work for the new version. So we're just going to use a constant, pop that in there, go ahead and click save. And we got a variable done. Then we're going to go over to tags here, and we're going to do a new tag. We're going to call this Google Analytics configuration. Okay. And then under tag configuration, we're going to grab this one, the Google Analytics GA4 configuration, because we're now using GA4, the new one. And the measurement ID, that's where we're going to go grab that measurement ID variable that we just grabbed from the last one, pop in there, and then we're going to fire this on all pages. I like to put in the description what I'm firing on. That way I don't have to like click in here to figure it out. So we'll do that. Now the other thing that we could do here is we could set up Google Analytics events. So we've now got the base pixel. This is going to track our basic stuff like page views, bounce rate, things like that. But what I also want to do is I want to create a custom event, and I want that to fire every time there's a new lead. So I'm going to set up a new lead trigger. We'll just call this new lead. I think we talked about this a little bit in the last video. And this is going to be a custom event that we actually programmatically built into the product that fires. If you want to tap into it, it fires every time the contact info on the lead form submits. It can be lead dash submission. Okay, click save. Got that trigger. We're going to go back to tags here now, and we're going to do a new one, and we're going to call this Google Analytics event new lead. Okay, we're going to do, this time is we're going to do GA4 event and grab that configuration tag again. And I'm going to call this new underscore lead. If you're naming an event, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to use spaces. So usually I would follow the convention that Google uses, which is usually lowercase with an underscore in between. That way it'll match out. Google has a bunch of pre-built triggers and events built right into the product, and it'll just be nice if you kind of follow their convention so everything looks nice and clean in your account. We're going to trigger this when a new lead comes through, and go ahead and click save. What we could also do here is we could set up a trigger to fire when this phone number is clicked. I can't really copy and paste off of this, I don't think, so I'm going to do right hand click, view page source, Command F to go search, and I'm just going to grab the phone number. Oops. Phone number exactly from the code base. I went over it. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to set up a new trigger here. We're going to do triggers. New trigger. I'm going to call this phone number click. And what we're going to do is we're going to fire this. This is going to be a click on elements. We're going to do some clicks, and we're going to select click text contains and post in our phone number there. Click save. So this will fire every time someone clicks, because I consider that a lead as well. If someone clicks on the phone number on a mobile device or whatever. We'll go back to this trigger. And then actually, you know what? Let's actually set up a new, we could do both. We could have multiple triggers for this new lead. But let's actually set up a new one so we can see how many phone call clicks we get versus actually lead form submissions. Close Google and Analytics event phone number click tag configuration GA for event, and event name we're going to call this phone number click. Triggering, we'll grab our trigger, click save. Oh, gotta grab that, click save. And we're gonna go submit this. Google Analytics setup complete. Click publish. And let me just make sure I have this actually installed on the page. I'll come in here and grab this GTM code here. Go over to my settings and acquisition site settings. Looks like I gotta plug it in here. Go ahead and click save. And then this is now going to be installed on that page, and all your data is going to start feeding into Google Analytics. Okay. So you can play around and take a look at some of the data. Most of the data in Google Analytics is delayed by around 24 hours. If you want to see real-time data, you can click real-time and look at the events, things like that. The events are going to come in here, and what you can do is under conversions, you'll see a list of all the events, and you have this little toggle switch that will pop up after the first 24 hours where you can toggle on the ones you want to mark as conversion. So after setting this up, I would come back in here 24 hours later, toggle on the switch for the phone call leads and also for those lead form submission leads, so I can flag those as conversions. And then that way, now I'm looking at any reports based on conversions, I have those metrics tracked. So the cool thing about this is this will track both your organic and your paid. If you're looking at the Google Ads conversion data, it's only going to track those conversions that come off of Google Ads. But if I want, let's say I'm running Facebook ads and Google ads and Bing ads, and I have organic traffic, I have a bunch of different sources going through my website. This is where I'm going to see the metrics for everything combined. So a super powerful tool. You can dive in here and really learn a lot about your users, your user behavior, all of that. You definitely want to get this set up and installed on your site. And, we just knocked it out in probably about 5 minutes. So definitely get this done on your site. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do. If you run into any issues or have any trouble, definitely reach out to us, reach out to support, go hit this blue button down here in the corner inside of InvestorLift, reach out to us, let us know how we can help you. And also another source you can check out is Measure School on YouTube. That's a really excellent channel that teaches a lot more about Google Analytics. So if you want to dive deeper, check out Measure School on YouTube. They have a lot of great, awesome videos on Google Analytics if you want to take your sub to the next level. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.